Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to Shalala. This is our YouTube channel where we speak about Shanghai, about its people, about its history, and of course about its architecture. My name is Ivan Fetkin, this is
Sergey Grishishkin, hi.
And our handsome, great and awesome cameraman Andrew. Give a round of applause for him, please. So guys, today we're gonna speak about one of the most iconic movie about Shanghai, the movie where you can enjoy Shanghai architecture in its late 1980s, and this movie called Empire of the Sun, made by Stephen Speilberg. We have an expert here who can introduce us some story behind it.
Yeah, the film was quite well known, not just because of Spielberg. It was also nominated for 6 Oscars, didn't get any, but it doesn't matter. And it started also the career of Christian Bale. So Christian Bale, a little boy there when he was 13, I think, that was his first film.
When you get that close, the surrender should be very soft, very shy. This is your last surrender.
And he was selected after auditions of 4,000 boys.
So today we're making the film location scouting, and we're going to talk about the movie, and I think it's going to be okay if we're going to have some spoilers about the movie here.
Yeah, well, the film is based on the book by J.G. Ballard, English author, written in '84, where he talks about a kind of semi-autobiography of himself as a boy in Shanghai, which was occupied by the Japanese. So we must say that most of the stuff in the film is fiction, a book, and the film is fiction, but he really was a boy who studied in an English school here, and he really had a very kind of middle-class English family where he lived. His father was some sort of a merchant, and he went to an Anglican school, and he really was sent to a camp during the Japanese occupation, but of course not alone as in the film, but he was actually there with his parents and his sister.
Okay, so let's start. The first scene of the movie starts with a nice shot of the Catholic church. And
some church.
Some church, yeah.
That was a Catholic church, but he was singing as a boy, and he must have been singing in an Anglican church, of course, because he went to an Anglican school. But they liked the location of this church, and they liked the look of this church. And as we can see now, from the original shot of '87, everything, all the beauty here didn't exist. There was some really garbage type of situations. You didn't have any high rises in the back, and but the church itself, the same walls are the same walls.
Yeah, and later today we're going to show you the actual church where he did study. It's located next to the Shanghai Bund and still existing.
Yeah, Trinity Church, we'll go there next time. But talking about this is the called Xujiahui Cathedral usually by people, because this is the Xujiahui, the former small Vatican of China. That was the heart of Catholicism in the country for many centuries, even before the foreigners. And so this is a kind of neo-Gotical temple, cathedral, which was built in 1910. As everything in China, it had a lot of history. So it worked as a cathedral for some time. Then Japanese came, then communists came. It was closed down. Then it was also a scene of some nasty stuff during Cultural Revolution. 3,000 Red Guards from Beijing came to Shanghai, and they thought that Shanghai has too much foreign influence, so we need to fix it. So they basically came and they vandalized this cathedral. It was pretty much broken, so all the glasses were broken. And the bishop of the church was also, and some nuns were beaten and then sent to prison. And today, church and anything religious
you cannot get in, right? You cannot get into this church. You
can very rarely. For some Easter, for Christmas, they say that it's open sometimes, but nobody knows because this is all kind of COVID thing. And there is a small shop which is closed. So if anyone wants to get a plastic Jesus,
get some Christian merch.
This
is the link below.
You can definitely get it there. Interesting thing about that building up there.
It's not in a movie of Empire of the Sun. It's a separate topic.
It's not, but many people are asking why is there a temple, Tibetan temple, on the top of that building. So this is the administration of the independent region of Tibet in Shanghai. So
Which is, of course, part of China, right,
yeah,
Sergey?
yeah, part of China.
Yeah.
But this is kind of independently managed region. So because Tibetans, of course, have freedom of independently managing themselves. They don't need any central government, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the office of the Tibetan municipality, if you will, here in Shanghai.
Okay, let's...
And this tower, by the way, oh, sorry. Okay, go.
Okay, this tower...
This tower is going to be the second highest tower in Shanghai and the highest in Puxi, and it will be called Xujiahui Tower.
Okay, guys, let's go to next film location. Keep in touch.
Yang, take the Huangpu Road. Let's avoid the crowds.
We are on the next film location of Empire of the Sun, one of the classic scenes of this movie. When at the beginning of the film, the family tried to drive through the crowd of people. Slow down, checkpoint coming up. Through this bridge. Today is a very special day. It's some big event in Shanghai, and you won't believe this, but
today it's being blocked exactly in the same way that it was blocked in the film or it was blocked in 42, because there is some sort of competition on the river, rowing competition. And so before we're locked, let's try to look at this building. So that was Capitol building, Capitol Cinema, and they have done a very nice job in the 87 to recreate the look and feel of this building. So there was a big posters, we will show you now a small piece, and they were trying to go to that bridge, across that bridge, and there were many blockages, just like today.
Wire fences were put up around the international settlement, and there were checkpoints which we moved through every day.
For the film, the barbed wire fences that isolated the Westerners were reconstructed exactly where they stood in 1937.
Just like we're being blocked now. So today, 1 second ago there was we could just walk here. Now it's being blocked. But if you look at this building, you will obviously see that this is exactly the same, but the building next door has disappeared. The bridge is pretty much the same, but all the high rises obviously are new. But the interesting thing about this building, just a few words, so it was a Capitol Cinema, it was the largest cinema in Shanghai, it was the first air-conditioned cinema in China, and the building was designed by a Hungarian architect Gonda, who was very famous, and it's famous for always his building have a small little tower on the top. And the owners of this building, one Sephardic Jewish family, they had a cinema, had offices, and had a balcony for themselves. They had one flat, there was only one flat, just exactly the same as Victor Sassoon had in the...
On the Bund.
On the Bund, in his hotel.
Okay, let's go to the iconic place, the place where the family was trying to go through the bridge.
Yeah.
I still don't know, is the bridge the same width as in the movie in 1987, or it's a bit wider now?
Maybe a little bit wider.
Yeah.
Yeah, so before we are totally locked down by the helpful policeman, I think we should say goodbye and see you at the
next stop.
Next stop.
I'm gonna move into the hotel for a few days.
Why?
See which way things are going.
And we are on one of the interesting locations, also filmed in the Empire of the Sun. This is Cathay Hotel, and the nice building that is also part of Cathay Hotel. Sergey, give a word to you.
Well, yes, so yeah, we talked about this hotel. It was very luxurious. It was also originally not so high, but then Bank of China building was built in 36, and Victor Sassoon said, okay, we need to change the roof. I want to be the highest building on the Bund. So the big roof was built.
Here's a picture of the original hotel, and after it was renovated, it became so tall.
And so in the film, the boy Jim is staying at the hotel overnight, and he's playing with his flashlight.
Oh, good. See the ship. See the ship. See the battleship. Just watch it move. Get ready.
3,
he gives some signals to the Japanese guys, and by accident, the Japanese guys decided to fire. So after that, the mess starts basically. So that happened in one of the rooms here. But as we said, the mess outside of Cathay Hotel was filmed in a different location, and we will show it to you in a minute.
The same day as Pearl Harbor, Japanese troops charged through the barricades of the international settlement, causing panic in the streets.
We are in another very important location for the film Empire of the Sun. Many things were shot at this crossing. So if you remember, there was a shot when Jim is looking at the marching soldiers. So that was shot from that building here. We tried to go there, but we couldn't. Unfortunately, it's all blocked. But this beautiful new building built in the 90s is built on the place where used to be an old Shanghai shopping mall, arcade. And you can see it in the film in '87, it was still there. So Chinese soldiers running on the roofs, killing or trying to kill Japanese soldiers, that was there. This building doesn't exist, but this building, Ivan, what can you say about this building?
It's an Art Deco, and
Yes.
as you told me before, it's made by Gonda.
Yes,
Hungarian
and there is
architecture.
a small tower on the roof. All of his buildings have this small feature. But another interesting thing is that this building in the film
Also-
acted as a
Cathay apartment,
Cathay Hotel.
Cathay Hotel. You can see this part was transformed a bit to become Cathay Hotel entrance.
Yeah, and they were filming people running out because Japanese were coming and disappearing, and the whole mess in Shanghai started. So that was all filmed here. Everything was blocked and
This
closed
would
for
be
a few days.
impossible today to film this. We just tried to get in there, just walking, just no camera, just watching. Out in a second, get out. Right now we are standing next to a real Cathay Hotel, and we would like to show you some leftovers of the original decoration of the hotel.
Yeah, so that was a Cathay Hotel run and owned by Victor Sassoon, the big oligarch about which we talked about, and it's actually built in the shape of a letter V for Victor. Now it's called Peace Hotel or Fairmont Peace Hotel, but in old times it was Cathay, and that's where we stayed. And there is only one small piece of original feature, which tells us that was a
Cathay Hotel.
Cathay Hotel. So if you can see, there is a stained glass over there that still says Cathay.
We are on one of the most iconic scenes of the movie, Empire of the Sun. Maybe it's not that iconic in context of the movie itself, but it's iconic in a way that this scene was filmed. This is a scene where they show the Shanghai Bund. It was filmed probably somewhere around here, and the most interesting part of this scene is that you can see the very small fragment of Victoria Monument
Victoria.
that now is not here.
Yeah, that was one of the kind of iconic monuments of Shanghai, which was a monument to the Shanghainese people who lived here before and then went to the fight in the First World War and died. So it was a huge metal statue of an angel standing right here. And it was obviously destroyed during Japanese occupation. Japanese didn't want to have any foreign statues here or monuments, so they effectively took it away. The rumor was that they were planning to make cannons out of it, but in reality it was just scrapped. And one Russian girl actually found it in one of the scrap yards in Hongkou. And so for the film, they even reconstructed that statue. And also interesting fact is that they blocked the whole of Bund.
Yeah.
East meets West to recapture a moment in the past.
Yeah.
A couple more details. What is this building?
Yeah, this is the this is a tower that was informing the captains of the boats about the weather. In Xujiahui, the area where we filmed
before
the first
today.
church, there was a station that was monitoring the weather. And so every day in the 19th century, a boy was running from Xujiahui to here with a piece of paper telling what the weather is going to be. And then on this high mast, there were different flags that were put there, specifically telling the boats, telling the captains about the upcoming weather. Also, this is generally an interesting place because here we have all the concessions are effectively getting together. Here, about 300 meters from here, that's Chinese town. This side used to be French concession, and that side of that road used to be the international settlement.
Maybe we can even put on the map here in the video where you can see this dot. We hope our cameraman Andrei will be able to make this. Hit the like button, so he's gonna do his work better.
And one more thing, so in the film you can see the water, so there was this high embankment. This was built in the early 2000s because they were saying that it's kind of nice to walk, and also it was preventing the city from flooding. In reality, I think it's more of a...
to be able to get more Chinese tourists visiting Shanghai and stuff. And last detail, this building originally was not here. It was a bit...
It was moved. They built this small station for boats. So if you want to cross the river, you can come here for 2 yuan. You can cross on the other side. And so this station used to stand 100 meters away. And then they just moved it.
One more interesting detail about the movie. I think around this time in a movie, they move on their car through the Bund, and the boy is watching the people on the street, and you can see they show the foreign sailor saying something to a girl like see you, like I'll write you a letter. Then you see a nun, also like foreign nun. Then you see some poor Chinese guy asking for money, and I think another man holding the chicken. This is very small episode, but I think it's really introduces the Shanghai in 1940s. It's like mix of everyone, like center of the world.
As it is today.
Yeah, Stephen Speilberg may be a genius. It's a great thing. So we move into our next location.
So we are in the very center of old international settlement. This is the Trinity Church. Anglican church built by British guys, and there was a school where J.G. Ballard, the author of Empire of the Sun, used to go. So when he was singing in the choir, he was singing in this Anglican church, not in the Catholic church that we showed you earlier.
Wait, this church does not appear in the movie. They don't show it in the movie.
No.
And I think the scene where he's singing inside, it's also not filmed in this church.
No, it's filmed there in Xujiahui, but what we know is that you can see he's wearing his school uniform.
Oh yeah, with
and this thing is actually that sign, this emblem belonged to original school here, which is from the backside, which we will show you probably in a second.
So we are right next to the Trinity Church, where the main character of the Empire of the Sun was studying, and you can see on the top of it there is like it's called bas-relief, or
yeah, it's an emblem of the school.
It's an emblem. Right now it's destroyed, but I'm pretty sure this is the same one that he had on his uniform in a movie. We're gonna check it out. Maybe we're gonna put the picture here in the video so you can see and check it. Does that made so detailed or not?
Yeah, very solid school building, built in 1928. So it has a slightly similar feeling to some of the American universities built at the same time, like Yale.
It's kind of Gothic,
yeah,
like neo-Gothic
style. So that's it.
Yeah, let's go. Guys, we're in the end of our today's trip. We are at Schindler's. It's a German restaurant. Never been here before. This is Sergey's recommendation.
Yeah, one of the best German sausage sauerkraut places, and it's straight across the road from Trinity Church and the school where J.G. Ballard used to go.
Anyway, all the locations and addresses of the places are under the video or below the video. Anyway, before we start eating, we want to discuss a couple interesting moments. First of all, The Empire of the Sun is a great movie made by Stephen Speilberg. And also we recommend you to watch the documentary about this movie. The link to the video on YouTube is going to be also here. I want to mention a couple interesting moments. In this documentary, they also film and speak with Shanghai people back in 1987 in Shanghai. And they take a couple small interviews with old Shanghai grandpas.
Seeing this reminds me of that time very much.
I'll never forget.
I was 24 years old when Shanghai was occupied by the Japanese invader. It was very much like this.
Quite good English.
Yeah, who used to go to English schools, maybe to the same school
Yeah.
where J.G. Ballard went. And yeah, so clearly this is a kind of disappearing thing
Disappeared.
now.
It's
Disappeared
a
thing, but at
disappeared
that
generation.
time it was so interesting for these guys who were from 49 till 87. They didn't speak English, and they used to speak English when they were kids.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing in the film that many people who lived in Shanghai at that time said that it was a bullshit. There was a scene where when Japanese come and when the city is occupied, the ai, the nanny of Jim, kind of gives him a slap on the face. So that would be impossible. Nannies or ais at that time, of course, they were always very, very linked to their European kids. So that's pretty impossible.
Anyway guys, thank you very much for sticking with us till the end of the video. Have a good day, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and maybe if you know some other movies that was filmed in Shanghai and you would like to do
Mission Impossible.
Yeah, Mission Impossible, hit the like button, we're gonna make Mission Impossible as well. Anyway, keep in touch, see you.
You are the best group of actors in the world. Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope everybody comes back tomorrow. We'll have more fun.